الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونتوب إليه ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلله فلا هادي له ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ونشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أما بعد. All praises due to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We praise Him, we seek His aid, we ask His forgiveness, we repent to Him and we rely on Him. We seek refuge in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from the evil of our souls and our deeds, whom Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has guided, no one can misguide, and whom Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has not guided, no one can guide. I bear witness that there is no deity worthy of worship but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I bear witness that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is his final messenger. يقول الله تعالى في كتاب العزيز: أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم أفمن يعلم أن ما أنزل إليك من ربك الحق كمن هو أعمى إنما يتذكر أولو الألباب الذين يوفون بعهد الله ولا ينقضون الميثاق والذين يصلون ما أمر الله به أن يوصل ويخشون ربهم ويخافون سوء الحساب. As always, brothers and sisters, we thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for granting us the opportunity to be here on this blessed day of Jum'ah. We thank Him subhanahu wa ta'ala for allowing us the opportunity to turn to Him in sincere repentance on this blessed day. We thank Him subhanahu wa ta'ala for He is the only one that is truly deserving of thanks. Brothers and sisters in faith, today wanted us to reflect on a few verses from Surah Al-Ra'd, which is Surah 13. The verses that are chosen for you today are verses 19 21. Although I am recommending that you read a few verses before and a few verses after verses 19 and 21. As I always do. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has, as He always is, has shown us mercy this month. The month of Al-Muharram, which we know that we had an opportunity that has been offered to us in the form of the fasting of the day of Ashura and the reward that it is associated with that. And I pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that some of us, if not all of us, were amongst the lucky ones who, inshallah, will receive that tremendous reward that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has promised. For us, brothers and sisters, and we're still in the month of Muharram, and there is still opportunity for us to gain great benefit. And in addition to the benefit, or part of the benefit should be us reflecting as much as possible, and inshallah gaining benefit and insight from our reflections. We often encourage each other to reconnect with the Quran. And as we do every Friday, whenever there's a verse or verses shared in the Friday khutbah, we encourage you to go back and revisit these verses, and perhaps inshallah reflect, and perhaps inshallah Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give you some increased insight. These verses today stood out to me. These verses from Surah Al-Ra'd, and I reflected on a lot of what has happened this week. We are witnessing a lot of symptoms of disbelief. We're surrounded by it. We're surrounded by oppression. Those reminders are all around you. You cannot escape these symptoms. Cannot escape the oppression. You cannot escape the dishonesty. Kenneth, these are things that have become norms. Greed, the lack of empathy or compassion, the excessive pride, the vanity, the lewdness, the hopelessness, amongst other symptoms. But these are things that have always existed. But now they're magnified. And it's in your face. It's difficult for you to escape it. And for the believer, for the mu'min, these are warning signs for you. These are warning signs. You need to be aware. You need to be aware because you most likely will be impacted. A lot of us have already been impacted. So verses 19 through 21, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, and again this is Surah Al-Ra'd, which is Surah 13, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, by the way of translation, so is the one who knows that what has been revealed to you from your Lord is the truth. Like one who is blind. This is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala again asking this rhetorical question to Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam about truth. So he's asking is a person who recognizes the truth like the person who doesn't. إِنَّمَا يَتَذَكَّرُ أُولُو الْأَلْبَابِ, only those with reason will think. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we talked a few weeks ago about how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has honored us. He's honored you. And part of Him honoring you is that He gave you al-aql, He gave you the ability to reason. And often in the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala calls you to reflect, to contemplate, to observe, to take in. He calls you to do all of these things because that impacts your iman or the lack of. See, when we don't take time out to observe our surroundings, when we're just on autopilot and we're going, we're often impacted by things that we don't realize that we are impacted by because spiritually we're disconnected. We cannot afford to be spiritually disconnected. He goes on to explain and give a description of those whom he subhanahu wa ta'ala describes as ulul albab. Those who have this reasoning. They think, the thinkers, those who reflect. And he starts with those who honor the covenant. He starts with that. That's all of us. That's everyone that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has invited to Islam. He gave you this deen. And this deen is an agreement between you and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So he says, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم الذين يوفون بعهد الله ولا ينقضون الميثاق. That they are those who fulfill the promise to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and do not violate that agreement. Your duty and your responsibility is to uphold certain things and to live by a particular code. That's your duty and your responsibility. That's your agreement with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That you are going to do your best to live your life in accordance with what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala expects of you. You're going to do your best. And you have to do this consciously. That you are aware. You're aware of the reward the same way you are aware of the punishment. And you act accordingly. So I'm going to go back now to what we are surrounded with. And we are often impacted by, almost certainly. I'm not going to go through the list of events. I'm going to focus on the symptoms where oppression has become the norm. Oppression has become the norm, and oppression is defended. So I'm oppressing you, and I'm defending the fact that I'm oppressing you. And this is these perpetrators of suppression are individuals who claim that they have faith. I have faith. I have faith because when I came into office, part of the ceremonies was that I went to church. And I went to service. So somewhere in all of this, faith is in this little restricted box. And it only applies for show when I need to demonstrate, that part of my identity is that I belong to this. But it doesn't inform my behavior. Doesn't inform my behavior. Because if it informed my behavior, I would not justify taking away from the poor. I would justify that because it would conflict with what my faith calls me to. These are commonalities that can be found in the Abrahamic faiths. These are commonalities because at the end of the day, they're all based on the same thing. The same principles. We're not talking about what people alter. We're talking about the core values. Certain things you just don't do. Certain things you just don't do. Dishonesty, again, has become the norm. So the lie, or we'll refer to it as the ultimate truth, that's become the norm. And we defend this lie. We defend it. So all of these people that forever continue to talk about the values that are rooted in, that they get, that are inspired by their faith, where are your voices? You're in the front protecting lies. You're in the front protecting lies. Greed. Lack of empathy and compassion, where regardless of how many people we hurt, we have to do this because I have to be right. I gotta be right. I have to do this. Then you compound that by continuing to perpetuate this lie that is for your own good. You want to convince me now that taking away from the poor, I'm already poor, you're going to take away the little bit that I have, you're going to take that away from me and convince me that it's good for me. It's good for you. You don't know. It's good for you. While this is on my mind, I was going to bring it up later, but I'm going to bring this up now because this is related. Last week, the Imam stood before you and asked you, he told you that we were going to lend assistance to our brothers and sisters in Puerto Rico. And alhamdulillah, you guys really stepped up. We made a delivery today before Jum'ah to the collection point, which was at Temple University. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward you. Now, we're going to cut off your aid. We all heard this. We're going to cut off your aid because, we didn't, your house is a mess. You already live in a squalor. This is what's being communicated. You already live in a squalor and you're really not worth anything, so, we're not going to, but I went to church. Well, this is not, today's conversation is not about bashing anyone. It's about us being aware and alert. I mentioned vanity. So you cannot talk about vanity without talking about social media and this whole phenomena of the selfie and the me attitude and I'm the center of the universe and it's all about me and what I want. And Muslims are right there. We're right there. Lewdness, Muslims are right there. We're right there. So if I'm not in this space, living this alternative life where I'm presenting to my community one face and then in, the digital space, there's another me. And that other me There's another side of me that I don't need to know about. I don't need to know about you. There's certain things about you, if you're going to do haram, I prefer not to know about your haram. I don't need to know that. I don't need to know about the haram that you're doing. So for you to put it in this space where it's on full display, then we get the other Muslims that co-opt it by, I'm going to like it. And I'm trying to figure this out. That's your signature. That's your signature of approval. I approve of this. And I'm looking at you like, okay, what's up with that? But then you come to me and, this is haram, ukhti, subhanallah, astaghfirullah. Get out of here with that. But all of these are symptoms. These are global symptoms. I'm not talking to you about something that's just simply impacting you and me. It's impacting the entire world. And if you have not insulated yourself with the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the guidance of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, you will fall prey. You see, Islam is not where you confine it to this space. The space where, I may or may not make my 5 daily salah, may or may not. The space where, how I look, the space of what I put in my mouth. I got the Muslim look, but I'm at work and I'm busting it up with my co-workers and we're engaging in all kind of haram. All kind of haram conversations and I'm all up in there with them. What's informing your behavior? Where's your deen? Where's your deen? We cannot adopt the idea that deen is restricted to this space. It's right here. This is deen, and life is something different. No, your deen informs your life. Not the other way around. Your deen, that's your ahd, that's your mithaq that you took with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when you said, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. That's your responsibility. So you cannot take your deen and put deen over here and it only applies when it suits me or when it's comfortable for me. Or when it's advantageous for me. When it's advantageous for me to be spiritual, then I'm spiritual. And I'm quoting Allah and the Messenger and all that good stuff. But when it's not advantageous for me, I have amnesia. I can't figure it out. I don't know which side is up or down. Consistency. The following verse, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم والذين يصلون ما أمر الله به أن يوصل ويخشون ربهم ويخافون سوء الحساب. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, and those who join what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has ordered to be joined are in awe of their Lord and dread a terrible reckoning. Your faith informing your behavior, not the opposite. We have to beware of the symptoms that we see around us. That they don't infect us, further infect us, because we all have some of that in us already. You already got that. It's already there. Everything that I mentioned is already in you. It's your duty and your responsibility to make sure that those things that conflict with what you are supposed to be and how you are supposed to be, you keep them at bay. You temper that. So if you have issues with arrogance, you don't feed the arrogance, you temper it. If you lack compassion, you don't feed that, you temper it. You replace that with, you counter it with rahmah, or mercy and compassion. That's why I chose to bring up the fact that many of you stepped up, alhamdulillah, and you did something for yourself. As you did the prior week when we had our sister who was involved in the fire, and I called on you, and alhamdulillah, as a matter of fact, she sent me a text about a half hour ago and told me that we just helped her get a house. You helped her get a home, and you helped her pay for it. And almost everything that she lost, you helped her replace by the grace of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now you think about that, contemplate, reflect on that. The things that we often overlook, those things that actually get you closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that we overlook, and often it's difficult and hard for us to overlook it, and it's like, I can't figure that part out. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Because I talk to you about this every week. I talk to you every week about you helping yourself. Every week I talk to you about you helping you. And even though Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blessed you to be able to aid in the assistance of someone else, the true benefactor is you. You're investing in your akhirah. You are investing in your akhirah. Yes, you helped someone who is in need. But the reward, what you gave, pales in comparison to what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has promised you. What you have waiting for you, inshallah. Your faith informs your behavior. In verse 21, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says about, this is a description that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving for these people who will receive this ultimate reward from Him that He has promised, which is Al-Jannah. He mentions this in Surah Al-Ra'd at the conclusion of the series of verses. And that they fear, they are conscious and aware of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَيَخْشَوْنَ رَبَّهُمْ. You are aware and you are conscious. And that's how you live your life, that I am aware. So when I see these symptoms, I recognize these symptoms. I don't dwell on the symptoms. I see people that are sick, and I hear this sickness, and people, I hear it. I see refuge on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from that. I don't want to be like that. So every time you hear a particular individual make a ridiculous statement, and I said this way back when this person was voted into office. I reminded us of the hadith where the Prophet ﷺ said, كَمَا تَكُونُونَ يُوَلَّى عَلَيْكُمْ. You need to think about it. And I said this last year. Everything that I said to you, which you experience it all the time. You see it. You can't escape it. It's all around you. the symptoms that plague us, right? This is, subhanAllah, culminated in this individual. He's out front, wearing it all. Everything negative, wearing it all. And wearing it proudly. With his army of individuals that are defending that nonsense. But it's not just that, because I'm sure those of you who are aware, I'm sure you heard about the Boy Scouts of America are now admitting girls. If you didn't hear that, you're hearing it now, because this is, you know, the conversation now that, you know, we have Boy Scouts and we have Girl Scouts. And everybody's good. And it wasn't enough that, you know, the whole, how can I put it? Those who are challenged with their sexual orientation, we got, you know, everybody has to be included, right? But now, it's not enough, so now we have to include girls in the Boy Scouts. I'm going to tell you how ridiculous this is. The Girl Scouts issued a statement. It's like, this is crazy. I mean, why? But this is the world that we're living in. Stop asking why. You already know why. You know why. You know why the lie is it has now become the truth. You know that. You know why. You know why the oppressor is now defending his oppression. You know why. You know why we're taking pictures of ourselves and, you know, I'm humble amongst the Muslims, and in this other space, you know, it's all about me, and I'm at the Kaaba with my cell phone taking a selfie in my, I mean, give me a break, what are we doing? But you know why? You don't have to think hard, you don't have to, I mean, you're putting too much into this. It is what it is. It is what it is. يا أيها الناس إن وعد الله حق. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم, O mankind, verily Allah's promise is true. Let not this dunya deceive you, and do not be deceived by the ultimate deceiver, which is shaitan. So when you're trying to reconcile all of this, you don't have to think hard. I mean, it is what it is. This is our test. We undoubtedly will be impacted by the things that are around us. And if some thought in your mind enters your mind, you know, I'm somehow going to escape this muck and mire by going somewhere else in the world, ain't happening. This infection is global. It's global. Ain't happening. It's not happening. That's some dream of I'm somehow gonna, unless you find yourself a mountaintop, a cave, and you're there. But if you're gonna engage with people today, you're gonna encounter that. That's not something you're gonna be able to escape. You can insulate yourself. That's your charge. That's your charge. Stay close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by staying close to His book. Stay close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by doing those things that keep you close to Him. You gotta be aware. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in verse 19, when He asked that rhetorical question, and He mentioned blindness. Huh? He's talking about spiritual blindness. You not being aware You're somewhere, but you can't see all the stuff that's around you that's impacting you. A lot of us have these symptoms. When I say a lot of us have these symptoms, I mean we are actually acting out these things. We're not immune to that. We're not. I mean, all you have to do is look around you. You know, part of us getting closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is us being honest, and you can't, I can't be in denial. I have to be aware. And I'm aware of my surroundings. I'm aware of who I engage with, how I engage with them, what I receive from them. We make dua for ourselves, we make dua for our brothers and sisters. And we pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He strengthen us all, that He bring us all closer to Him, and more importantly, that He forgive us all. That He forgive us all. And asking for forgiveness is something that we talk about all the time. All the time. Today is a blessed day. And today is a great day for Tawbah. Today is a great day for Tawbah. It's a great day to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive you. Don't wait. There's no reason for you to wait. There's no reason for you not to say, oh Allah, forgive me. There's no reason for you not to say that. Istighfar is simple. It's not complicated like that. We complicate things when we're, negotiating, well, did I, do I? Say astaghfirullah. And mean it. Say astaghfirullah and mean it. And mean it. You mean it when you're conscious. You're aware. You recognize that I know me. I know me. I know all that stuff that's in me. I know what's there. Even when I don't like to acknowledge what's there, I know what's there. And I need to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive me. Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, it's narrated by Aisha radiallahu anha, said that Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam would ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for forgiveness more than 100 times a day. This is a reminder. You've heard this often, but this is a reminder we need to hear every day. Every moment, every day, because we forget. We forget, and you can't forget that you got your enemy encouraging you, telling you that everything is good. He's in your ear. Man, you don't need to worry about that. You're good. He's in your ear, whispering those sweet nothings. And often we fall for it. Don't fall for that. I'm not good. I got plenty of work to do. I have plenty of work to do. And by chance, inshallah, today, if you get the opportunity to revisit the verses that we went over today, pray and ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He makes you amongst those people who uphold what He's talking about in Surah Al-Baqarah. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله العظيم لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين والمسلمات من كل ذنب واستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين salatu wassalamu ala nabiyil kareem wa ba'd. Brothers and sisters, in conclusion, as always, before we pray, I'm going to remind myself first and remind you to plan to do something to help you today. Whatever it is. Find something that you can do that will benefit you, inshallah. So whatever good you intend to do, plan it. And I know you can't plan everything. I know often you hear me say this all the time. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala undoubtedly places opportunities before you. Get in the habit of embracing those opportunities. Get out of the habit of walking by. You don't know. You have no idea, one, the value of your deeds. By the value of your deeds, I mean the reward that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has in store for you. You can't imagine that. Stop cheating yourself. Stop cheating yourself. You cheat yourself when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala places something before you and you say, I don't need that. Or, I don't want that. Or, however we respond to that. Get in the habit of embracing those opportunities. No matter how small, how insignificant you may think it is. To you, it may be a small thing. But the value with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you can't even imagine. You have no idea. Stop cheating yourself. One day, we will all stand before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and every kindness, every good deed, we will need. Every kindness, every good deed, we will need. So when you're struggling with how to figure that part out, I want you to remember. I want you to remember that part of your accounting isn't just, the good stuff that you did. It's also the other stuff. And it's not just the other stuff, because people on the day of judgment will come forward with claims against you. They will come forward with claims against you. Fulan did this to me, he took this from me. Help yourself. Every kindness and every good deed you will need. So when these opportunities are right there, sometimes you don't have to walk far to do something that will help you. It's right there before you. Take advantage of it. I pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on this blessed day of Jum'ah that He accepts our acts of devotion, whatever they are. That He accepts our salat today, that our attendance here at Jum'ah today, that it is accepted from us. That we get the reward, inshallah, that is due us. And that our tawbah, inshallah, on this blessed day is accepted. I pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He guides our hearts towards His book. Because without the Quran, you have absolutely nothing. The Quran is your armor. The Quran is your armor. Without it, you are naked. You need the Quran. Make the Quran part of your life. Even if it's a verse, one verse a day, make the Quran part of your life. And I'm not talking about the surahs that you recite in Salah. So if you're thinking, I already recite the Quran in Salah, you're not thinking right. You need to actively The Qur'an's in our homes. A lot of us with technology, we got Qur'ans on our cell phones. It's around you, it's there, use it. And when you read, contemplate and reflect. And when you contemplate and you reflect, think of yourself in relationship to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. ألا وصلوا على سيد المرسلين وإمام المتقين فقد أمركم الله بذلك في كتابه العزيز فقال جل من قائل إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما ويقول عليه أفضل الصلاة والتسليم من صلى عليه مرة صلى الله عليه بها 10 اللهم صل وسلم وبارك وأنعم على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين وسلم تسليما كثيرا. عباد الله إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون فاذكروا الله العظيم الجليل يذكركم واشكروه على نعمه يزدكم ولذكر الله أكبر والله يعلم ما تصنعون وأقيموا الصلاة فإن الصلاة تنهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر.